All right, so once you've opened the EX11-1 file from content, as indicated, you want to go File, actually enable editing, File, Save As. We want to call this EX11-Sales, and I'm going to put this in my Fanshawe folder. Okay, once you're in the, make sure you're in the project sales worksheet. You want to select the range C3 to E3, and then go to the Data tab. You want to go to What If Analysis, which is over on the right-hand side of the ribbon. Click on that drop down, and you want to go Scenario Manager. In this case, you'll notice right now you have no scenarios. So what we want to do is add. So click the Add button. And if you need to, you might need to move this box around. You want to make sure A and B are visible. And in this case, the scenario name, you want to type original sales figures. Okay. Click OK. And at this point, click OK again because you want to keep those three values of those three cells for the original scenario. Let's go and we want to add another scenario. So click Add. And in this case, we want to call this one Increase Feb, March, and April by $5,000. Okay. Make sure that this still says C3 to E3. Then click OK. So now we want to actually change the values by $5,000. So where it says option 1, where it says $3, C3, change it to 8189. Change D3 to be 76423, and change E3 to be 89664. Once you've done those three changes, click Add. Okay. Now we want to do another scenario where we call Increase Feb, March, April by 10,000. Again, make sure C3, E3 are still showing. And click OK. Our scenario values now in this case, you want to increase to be 85, 189, 81, 423, and 94, 664. Click OK. Now you'll notice you're in your scenario manager. You now have three scenarios recorded. What you want to do is, in our example, let's highlight the one that says increase February, March, April by 10,000. Click on the bottom where it says show, and you'll realize all the data in the background displays that scenario. Click on the increase February, March, April by 5,000. Click show, and again, it indicates those details. Let's go back to the original sales figures. Click show, click close, and let's save our work. All right, so now we're on to page 254. In this example, let's highlight B2 to I3. Okay. Click your Formulas tab. Click Create from Selection under your Define Names group. Make sure it says Top Row. Click OK. Let's click the Name Manager button. And in this case, you'll notice that it created the named ranges. Okay, so you'll see all the different months labeled, identifying the value, what cell it is, etc. So let's close that. Go back to your data bar on your ribbon And in this case, we want to hit what if analysis again. Let's go to Scenario Manager. And then there's an option down here that says Summary. So click Summary. With the result cells box highlighted, click H3. Okay. Type a comma. Click on I3. Type another comma. And then click on H7. Okay. So click OK. Let's right click on the D column heading. We want to actually delete the current values because we know what they are. And it actually duplicates it here through the scenario results. Let's select B13 to B15. Let's delete that information. It's irrelevant for what we want to look at. Let's click on B2. We want to edit the contents. Okay, so just say scenario summary for New York sales. Okay. Let's click on C10. And we want to edit the content for it to say total New York sales. Remember, F2 is an instant edit. Total New York sales. Let's click on C11, which is where I am now. We want this to read percent New York sales. And on C12, we want this to say total. And it's messing up on here. Total R2G sales. Okay, take your cursor back to A1. Let's save our work so far. And last step on this page, we want to add our name to the center section of the summary sheet footer. Okay, so I will click on the status bar of the page layout. Scroll down to the footer. You want to enter your name here. Okay. I'll go back to normal. And let's go print the preview. We want to change it to be landscape orientation. Okay, so now everything should fit on the page. If not, you might need to change your scaling to be fit on page. Let's save our work, and then we'll continue. Actually, before we continue, what this scenario summary is, it is displaying the what-if situations where you created the 3 scenarios in the first steps, and now it's giving you a little table identifying what those specific cells would be in those 3 situations. Alright, next, let's click on the Projected Sales tab. Let's go to cell K1, and here we want to type total NY sales. Okay, let's make sure K is autofit for that content. In K2, let's enter 419921. In K3, let's enter 469921. Select the range K2 to K3. Let's drag that down to fill K4, 5, and 6. And Excel recognized you were increasing by 50,000 each time, so it continues that trend. Let's format that range to be accounting and 0 decimal places. Okay, well, I'll make sure this column's autofit. Let's go to L1. Let's type equals, and then we'll click on cell I3. Okay, click the check mark. Okay. Then we'll format that cell in L1 to be percentage with 2 decimal places. Okay. While L1 is still selected, let's go to the Home tab on your ribbon. Let's click the Format button in the Cells group. Click Format Cells. Let's go to Number. So the Number tab, sorry. Let's click Custom. And where it says type, we want to type 3 semicolons. Click OK. What that's doing is now hiding that. No matter what that result is, it's actually hiding it and not displaying the information. Okay, remember this. In K1 to L6, okay, we'll select that range. Click the Data tab. Click the What If analysis. And we're going to create a data table in this case. In our example, we want to click the column input cell text box. We want to click on H3. So what this is, you're pointing it to say H3 is the original value. The information in this data table means what if that number changed to be one of these numbers. Okay, so column input cell H3. Click OK. Let's format the range of L2. Oops, sorry about that. L2 to L6 to be percentages again with 2 decimal places. Let's go up to cell A1 and we want to add our name to the center of the worksheet footer. So we'll go down to footer, give our name again. Let's go file, print. Let's change it to landscape, make sure everything fits on one page. Let's save our work. Back in normal view. Okay, this next item we're going to look at is goal seek. So we want to create a target and determine what it would take to get there. So let's click on B8. Okay, so that's going to be our goal cell. Let's click the Data tab. Let's click under What If Analysis again. We want to click the Goal Seek option. Click the To value. Let's type 17%. So we want to find out what would it take to get B8 to be 17%. But what cell will change? What we want it to change is B3 only. So if only B3 could change, how much would that cell have to change to get the percentage of sales in B8 to be 17%? Click OK. And you'll notice a little dialog box tells you, or actually calculated what it needed to be. 114 displayed it. Click OK. And it actually saves all the changes. All right, we're on page 260. We're looking at what ifs analysis with the solver. So now we actually want to change our tab to be the budgets tab. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Okay. Let's click the data tab if you're not already there on the ribbon. And we want to click on the far side where it says solver. So you should have an option that says solver. Okay. Sorry, you want to click the solver button. All right, so now we've got a set of functions we need to walk through called solver parameters. So under the set objective, while we're there, let's click on I7. Okay. Click the value of option button if necessary. In my case, it's defaulted to it. Let's double click on the value of text box, and then we'll type 3 million. Okay, so 3.1 million. And what do we want to change to get there? So click on the by changing variable cells text box. We want to select the range G3 to H6. So G3 to H6. Okay. Let's click subject to the constraints. We want to click add. And in this case, we want to click on I3 to I6. Okay. We want to change it to be equals. And then we want them to be equal to C9. So therefore they cannot, or sorry, they must be equal to 775 in total. click the Add button, and then we want another constraint. So let's highlight G3 to G6. And in this case, we want them to be greater than or equal to the value of C11. So it's a minimum entertainment budget. Click Add, then highlight H3 to H6. And in this case, we want it to be, again, greater than or equal to. And we want to click on C10, so it's our minimum travel budget. Click OK. And you'll have a little box popping up which has all of your variables. Over on page 262, our next step is we want to click Solve. And Excel in the background, I'm sorry, this popped on my other screen. Excel in the background calculated what it would take to get all 4 of those locations to a $775,000 budget based on those parameters for entertainment and travel. In this case, we actually want to save the scenario. So click Save Scenario. You have another pop-up box. Let's type this adjusted budgets. Let's click OK. And in our case, we actually want to restore our original values. We don't want to save it at this time. And then click OK. So you'll notice all the data goes back to the original values. Let's go back to the What If Analysis button on your Data ribbon. Let's click Scenario Manager. Let's click Summary. And click OK. And same as the other Scenario Manager, we now have a scenario where it talks about the original budget values for entertainment and travel and what they would be adjusted to get the scenario of 3.1 million. So let's select column A. Let's delete column A, clean it up. Let's right click on the Scenario Summary 2 tab and we'll rename this to be called Adjusted Budgets. Okay, press Enter. Let's highlight A16 to A18. Let's delete those contents. Let's highlight A2 to D3. And we want to fill it with blue accent 1. Let's go home. Let's go fill. And I can never remember blue accent 1's this one. Good. Let's highlight A5 to D15. And in this case, we want to fill with blue accent 1 lighter 80. Blue accent 1 lighter 80. Let's right click on the row 1 header. And let's delete that row. Let's click on A1 and let's call this Solver Solutions. Okay. Again, we want to put our name in the worksheet footer. Okay, go back to normal view. Oops, normal view. I'll blow this up so you can see it. And we'll save this work. Okay, last steps for this module. Let's go to the Projected Sales Sheet tab. Let's go to the Data tab. We want to go to Data Analysis in the Analyze section, so Data Analysis. Oh, sorry about that. Let's click Descriptive Statistics. Let's click OK. We want, under the Input Range text box, so this first box on this option, we want to highlight H3 to H6. Okay. We want to make sure that it's grouped by columns. Click the New Worksheet Ply option, which is down at the bottom here, and what we'll call that is called Branch Statistics. Let's click the Summary Statistics checkbox. Once you've done that, and it looks like this, click OK. So let's widen column A so you can see what those statistical components are. Let's edit A1 to read total projected sales January to June. And what this is giving us the various data, such as the average, the error, the median, the mode, all that crazy stuff that you can get through the statistical package. Last step is to add your name to the footer again. Change your view, go home, not physically because you're already there. And actually, that's it. So let's save. This file is your modular exercise as due on your submissions.